Never have I ever used Olo markers. I keep buying them. I keep not using them. So today I'm going to stamp something, color something, and give you my thoughts as I go. I am not an expert colorist, that is for sure, but I love all the things, and today we're going to see how it shakes out. To see that video, stick around. It's coming up next. So here's a look at my current Olo marker collection. And just so you know, they are two-sided, right? I have them screwed together, and I've ordered them to be, you know, numbers that are close. Here's the thing. I know the numbers mean something and whatnot, but oftentimes I just look at the colors. Now, I downloaded the hex chart from Sandy Allnock, and I'll have a link to this page where you can download her charts. She sets them up by color rather than by number to show you colors that are similar. And so this is what I have. I don't know if this is the current chart or not, because there's a new release, I believe, coming for Olos. But listen, if you're like me and you're just wanting to try something, that's what we're doing today. I am not great with Copic markers, but yet this is one of those things that I'm like, well, they seem really cool and the price is really a little nicer than Copic, and when you run out, you just buy a new cartridge and fill, you don't have to fill anything, and you screw them together. I don't know. It seems kind of cool to me. So this is what I'm starting with. By the way, this little container, this is from Organize More, and I oftentimes just sit it up, right? But you can do them on their sides, and I keep all of my markers in this type of storage system, and I'll be sure to have a link in my description for the Organize More as well, in my supply list. First, I need something to color. So I'm going to grab some things. I'm going to stamp a bunch of things, I think, or at least a few things, and then we'll get started with coloring, and I'll tell you what I think. Before I get started coloring, I'm going to use this cute little stamp set called Cool Birthday, because these little images are very sweet, and there are coordinating dies that cut everything out in terms of the imagery. And what I think I'm going to do, because I have better luck if I stamp, cut, and then color. That way you don't have to worry that you've colored something perfectly and you've messed it up. And I think I'm actually going to show you how I do this. The first thing I do is take the dies from the stamps that I want to use and cut out the pieces. Now I have these little friends cut out. I'll set you guys up here. And then I'm going to take this piece and cut it into 4 different pieces. I'm just making little templates, templates that are going to help me stamp these things a little bit easier. Template, 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 template. Next, I will bring in a little scrap paper, and I have a grip mat in here that will hold this in place. I also have my Memento ink, which is alcohol marker friendly. And now I just have to figure out the placement of my little guides here. So I'm going to have one roughly there. You go about there, and the last guy. Now, this might seem like a lot, but once you see how nice this is for doing a bunch at once, because I'm going to screw up things that I'm coloring, and so take off your guides, okay? Press your stamps down. I will use my little stamp conditioner. This is just to get them primed for the first stamping, because there's always a little coating on them. Good to go. Now, you take your ink, ink them up, and stamp them onto the template. All right. This is just something that I really love to do when I have the time, because it's going to let you get everything lined up so well. So you're going to need some tape, okay? Frame out your guy, take your time, all sides. Look how cute that is. He's ready to go. And then tape him into place. And this is going to be where you can drop your coordinating cutout, and I can cut out extras so that if I screw up when I'm coloring, I have extras that are going to be ready to go. Let me get all of these taped into place, and then I will show you how I stamp them. Once everything is taped into place, then you can start stamping. Now I will show you a little hot tip that I do as well. I take a little bit of Easy Dot repositionable. This is just a low tack repositionable. And I just put a little in the center of each one just to hold them in place. And this comes off really easily with an adhesive eraser. So now I press that in, line all of them back in. The other thing that's great about this, if you make your first pass and you're like, oh, I didn't really get that lined up the way I thought, you just move your guide. This is all repositionable tape, so you can lift it up, move your guide, get it so that everything is where it needs to be. And now you take your alcohol marker friendly ink, ink up your stamps, and stamp them all at once, and they will be perfect. Hopefully, if I had it all lined up correctly. And I can stamp them more than once because that tape should hold, meaning the repositionable tape should hold them in place. And look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay, I think I might do just one more light tap. And then I'm going to cut out, I think, 2 more sets just to have some extras, because then I can try some things, and if they don't look good, well, that's part of playing when you have a new marker. So again, don't move anything. You just dig them out now. And there, again, there is a little, you gotta lift a little from underneath and then just get that off. And then you can take adhesive eraser if you like and just take that off the back. And it comes right off. So now that I have everything cut out, and yes, I did do the same template for the little grounding iceberg because I think this is adorable, but I'm not going to focus on this right now because that overwhelms me. You know, I could use many more little friends, but I might just plan to have a couple to start. But then I have to pick my colors. Now here's the good news for me. I actually have quite a few of the warm grays, and I did that on purpose. I think they came in a set, and I do have warm gray 0. That is a color that I am, you know what I might do too? I might just have to unscrew these because I can't just look at markers, and that will be a little taller because of the center screw. I need to see both sides at once. And that's one of the only drawbacks for me is with a Copic marker, you have one color in the barrel. Now you can change that. You can have a WG on 0 on both sides, right? You can make it a single marker. But part of the fun of all this is that you don't. So here I have WG7. I think I'm going to say you go there. And I think I could hold those really, yeah, I can hold them really small. There are also long handles that you can get if you want to have a single barrel of color with a long handle. I thought about ordering some, but they were out of stock, so I did not order any of those. Okay, I'm going to set that here. Okay, so I might start with just doing my little guy here and seeing what happens. I also have, and I don't really have these swatched out, so I'm not sure even what they look like. I need some scratch paper. I'm going to use some of that to see what they look like, because maybe his little nose would look best in OR 2.3, which is, no, that's a little bright. I actually think 1.3 would be cute for his nose. Okay, again, this is not, oh, Cathy, this is not my wheelhouse. So I think I will, normally I speed this type of thing up, but I don't think I'm going to do that today because the point is to talk about how these markers feel and work, and so I'm going to slide this up out of the way for now. And I'm going to do kind of, and I learned this from my friend Jen Shirkus, who's a really great colorist and a great teacher of coloring. She cuts her things out first as well, and then she sticks them to things. Oh, I guess that doesn't need to be here. And that's really helpful for coloring, and for me, I think there's a psychological aspect that really does, and I'm sticking it down here to the Post-it, that kind of makes me feel like I have more of a sense of the edge. So I'm going to put this here. The other critical piece that I have, oh, got a little ink on it, is the zero marker, which works kind of like an eraser, right? It kind of lifts the ink as needed. So I'm going to keep my zero out there. You're here. We're not ready for you. And I guess I'll start with a little bit of WG on the body. 1. Okay, so this is the warm gray 1. Oh yeah, I can hold them like this. And I'm just going to add a little. Now, one of the things I have heard about this is that they are continuous flow markers, meaning the ink's always kind of coming out. And the only reason that scares me is because I have a hard time controlling ink as it is. And actually, you know what? I can zoom in more. We can do it. Let's do it. Hopefully this will show up. I don't know if that's a good thing for someone like me. I'm going to put a little over here like that. Just kind of frame out his little body, okay? That's the WG1. That went down pretty well. And now the WG0. Let's just put a little more right in here. And also, I hold my pen weird, like a little hook, almost like a claw. I'm going to put a little up here too. So I apologize if it makes it hard to see where I'm coloring. But I will tell you this, one thing about the gray markers is this is a great color to start with on any alcohol marker. This is what I started with, warm grays and pinks. And I tell you, it made a huge difference for me to just keep it super simple and work with warm grays, like coloring penguins and bunnies and elephants and things like that. But now we're going to take this darker WG and I'm going to, oh boy, okay. I'm going to take that fine tip and just brush it in there. I mean, the ink really is flowy. I can see it, but I have to go very slow. I'm not one of these people that know how to do fanciful shading. I do the best I can, but the reason I keep trying to use alcohol markers is because I love the look. I love that you can color things and it's just such a smooth finish, right? There's no paling of the paper, and that was what got me hooked on Copics in the beginning. Can we still see there? Trying to make sure that I stay in camera. And we'll just go up and over. So here, I would not feel super comfortable doing a lot of shading. And that is the other thing with Olos that I don't know yet how I'm going to feel about that. So we're just going. You know what I should get? Have you seen those? They're like glasses that you can put on even over your glasses, because I am a glasses wearer, and they will magnify things. And I feel like I am about a year away from those glasses. So far, I definitely like to pull my marker away from what I'm coloring rather than go into what I'm coloring, like this way. That is just me, because I'm trying so hard to stay in the lines. Okay. Now that looks pretty darn good, okay? Now if I want to, I'm going to leave this right here so I remember which is which. That's the only other thing. So it does have a label that says right there, warm gray 7. So if you forget, you know, just like a Copic marker. But here, I'm going to take some of the warm gray 9, and we are going to make it, oh boy, I'm getting down here, a little darker at the base, like that. Just for a little extra something, and then maybe, can I blend over that? I mean, I guess. A little bit more in the arm. Like that, so it's a little darker. I don't even know if I see that much. I mean, it kind of looks a little wonky. Maybe over here too, I could have a little, oh, his arm has to be. Okay, and his feet. Just kind of pouring that up. Like that. Also, I can't talk as the same when I'm coloring. As much as I would like to say that I can, I can't. I'm concentrating real hard. And we'll color his arm. And we'll color his feet. His feet will just be the dark color. Again, just get that going right there. Now I don't know what happens with these markers once the ink starts to dry, but starts to run out. But I have heard it's very sudden. Like you don't have much of a warning before your marker has run dry. And that I'll have to experience myself. But honestly, the amount that I color, I don't think that I will. But I don't want to be afraid of cute things like this. This stamp set is so stinking cute. And I want to be able to, color things like this. Okay, so now we're going to put a little bit of the O1.3 into his beak because I think this will be cute. I think it's orangey enough, like that. Okay, and I have to figure out his hat. So I think what I'll do is just screw these back together after I use them. Then I know where my pairs are, and I guess over time I'll start to, come on now, I'll start to know. And by the way, these come out of here too. So they come like this, you screw the pieces in, and then you're good to go. Now, do I have a nice little pink that I could use for cheeks? I have. Well, let's take a look at this one. This is our 5.3. Yeah, I don't look, well, it's not horrible. I have an RV 0.2. I like that. That's a little, or let's look at the RV 01. There's two here. So sometimes I don't have to take them all off. Yeah, those are all cute. Maybe I think I'll go with the RV 01. I just want to put a little boop, boop, right there on his cheeks so he has a little cuteness. Now for his hat, let's see here. Well, I mean, I could use these two colors. Let me look at my sheet here. I have the RV 01 and the RV 0.2, so they're close. And I think, again, this is where I get confused. I'm going to unscrew you. Yep, just like that. I need to be able to see which one is which. Okay. I will make his hat pink, at least this part. We're going to add in the RV01. Do you like watching people color? I don't know. I find when I do it, and I'm giving it a nice little saturation, sometimes I just get jealous because I'm not that good at it. All right, we're going to take a little bit here at the base, and we're going to kind of try to blend it up a bit. And this is where I don't know, like if I take the old touch to touch, does that blend? I guess it does. Although it kind of looks like it's lifting the color off of where I just put that. Which it kind of is. I don't know. That does not look great to me. I feel like I just need to go over the hue like that. Keep coming back from the top like that. It's as good as it's going to get. Okay. Let me get one more color for the top. Now on my chart, it does show that the V03 is close to those, which should mean it will work. So let's grab it. The V03 for the top. Let's try that. Just to have a little pop of that pink. And I don't know. I really don't know. This is going to be a long video. That's all right. It's not bad. And that is one friend done. That didn't take so long. Now, again, look at that hat. How do I get that to blend more? I don't know if I can. Maybe these colors aren't meant to blend. I don't, because see how going over it? Oh, that kind of smooths it out a little. A little. All right. Experiment 1, done. It's all right. It's not going to win any awards. In fact, I don't love those two together. Let me think about this. So I started messing around with the one I had already colored. If you can see here, I took a pink pen and tried to color over the whole thing, and then I got outside of the lines, and so then I took the 0 pen, and then that started to erase things off the... So I did a new one. Now this one's pretty good, except you can see there's a little bit of bleed feather right inside here. And I just went all dark with this. I didn't try to do any shading, and I just put a tiny bit of the W0. You know, I think I am. No. Oh, and I changed the color of his nose to be OR 2.3. Okay, I'm going to speed up the rest of the coloring, and then I'm going to talk about my feelings, because I think when it comes to coloring, I have some feelings. Now, I shouldn't just focus on my coloring feelings, but, you know, I'd never know really what colors to start with, what goes where, what would look best here. Oftentimes, my history with Copic markers, I just use the same, probably 14 markers over and over. So to start something new like Olo, I don't know if this is my best move. Do you know what I mean? This might not be, but I get sucked into things are new and I want to try them. But I really don't know if they blend very well. Like, I don't know what I'm missing here, because here I'm laying down a light, laying down a dark, and as soon as I start to blend, I feel like the dark overtakes the light, and then you bring the light in and the light overtakes the dark. Even if I'm touching the tip of one to the other, that's not very blendy. It looks blotchy. Now, I may be missing something. Maybe you're not supposed to overlap them, or maybe I'm not saturating the images enough. But then when I do, ink starts to bleed, and you can see it already. The package, by where he's holding onto it, the purple has already started to bleed into it. So I don't know if that's because I got too close with the gray, and then I brought in this orange, and that just looks terrible. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I didn't like this, so I started again. So on the second version, I just kept the package very simple. And I don't know, are the loops supposed to have color? Are they not? See, that's another thing when I'm working with images. I don't really know always what is supposed to be colored and what's not supposed to be colored. But at least here I simplified and made the little palm on top purple. So I think that looks better. Looks better than version number 1 and has less bleeding. Okay, those are keepers. Now I'll move on to the scene. And actually, this wasn't too hard. I decided we're not adding in really any new colors except one. I'm going to put red on the candy cane pole, but we're going to use the same colors here. So there is at least a little color harmony. But I didn't even attempt to blend on the flags themselves, like a darker and a lighter, because that is just asking for trouble. So I'm just keeping it simple, one color in each. And I guess those are also lights. I don't know. I just doing what I'm doing. Now, I don't know. This might scare you off from Olos, but maybe some of you are just like, no, Cathy, you don't understand. These are the best. You just got to give it time. And I will give it time. I'm not writing this off just yet. I'm just not very confident with them. It reminds me of that, you know, that old SNL sketch where Martin Short and Harry Shearer are trying to be synchronized swimmers, but Martin Short doesn't swim. And at one point he just says, I'm not a very strong swimmer. That's me. I'm not a very strong colorer, you know? So I'm just adding a little bit to this floating block of ice, a little gray on the inside, and I think it looks pretty. I do plan to add a little glitter to this, but again, this is not bad. It's very simple, and I am happy basically with how it turned out. Okay, so that's about the extent of what I'm going to color. I'm laughing because, you know, maybe the igloo could have a little more. I don't know. I don't know. Should the igloo have a little more in the door here? So it looks like they're going inside something. I don't know. There you go. Little door there. You know, I don't know. I'm not convinced that I know these are going to be the best markers for me. I don't know. I mean, these two guys, they're okay, but they're not going to make you be like, ooh, I want those markers. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. You know, we can't all be great at everything. I guess that's the takeaway today. I just wanted this to have a little bit more to it for when I assemble this. But I am going to put, so what's on here? I am going to put a little glitter on the disco ball. I am going to put a little glowy background. So maybe it is in the finishing of the card. But let's see how it ends up, shall we? Next, rock candy. My favorite glitter. It's my new thing. I'm just going to put glue dots kind of in the middle of each square, I guess, just so some glitter will stick to it. I mean, I guess I could do more than that. And I think I'm going to make these glittery too. I think that's cute. You guys come around here, a little glittery in the center. You know, just enough. Just something to make up for my lack of coloring skill. It's not that. It's not, I don't know. I get sucked in and I think to myself, see, so now we have a little glitter. We have a little glitter disco ball there. So that's pretty cool. I'll let that sit. I will get a panel ready to make a home for this lovely thing. I'm going to speed this up too. One thing that helps me as not a strong colorer is that you can always finish out a card and make it cute, right? So I'm going to do this soft, little blendy, glowy seafoam background, and that's going to give a nice little home for my images. I'm using seafoam here. It's actually, my pad needs to be re-inked, so it looked softer than usual, but at least that is going to be something that I can do fairly well to ground my whole design. To finish out this card, I glued the extra one that I cut to this, and I'm just going to put this right onto the note card. I popped up the panel that I blended on, and oh, don't get glue out there, Cathy. But this can go right on it because it feels pretty substantial, and I'm just gonna put a little glue up here, just enough, and I will place you right smack dab in the middle of that glowy blend, okay? And then I went ahead and there's two greetings in the set. There's the have a cool birthday and happy birthday. And I'm actually gonna put a brick on this to really let it adhere. I went ahead and did this on a piece of sea glass. This is from Gina K Designs, and I think I'm going to put it at an angle, so I want this to be on thin foam squares. Now here's the thing, in the end, once you throw in all the other parts, right, you don't notice that my coloring isn't Olympic caliber. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it ever will be. I really don't think so. Like, I can enjoy coloring these little cuties. I don't even know where I put the other ones. And why, you know, 9 out of 10 times, I'm actually gonna go all the way out of the edges and start to make it look mucky. Not that I couldn't use that, but it's frustrating. You know how sometimes when you're making something and you kind of want it to look good? Do you know what I'm talking about? That's the goal here. So I think we will have a cool birthday is just going to extend like that, because I don't know where else to put it. And then he's going to be a little bit sitting on top, and he's going to be over here having a party. That's pretty cute, right? So we'll put this down and hopefully it won't get too smushed in the mail. Maybe I'll do a hand delivery to someone in my family when they have a birthday. But here, again, I just think I want him to be right about like that. So you still see the icebergs, right? He's just, actually, what if he just comes out like that? So he's just breaking the plane. Okay. And then you're here like that. Again, I have regular foam squares here so that this little guy can be a little bit more popped up than the greeting. I just don't know if what I've spent is really worth it. You know, like I have Copic markers. Did I need, oh, come here, let's kind of get you in there like that. Did I need to get more markers? There we go. I just want him to look like the door is still there. The answer is probably not. I have a good collection of Copic markers, and I actually bought a bunch when I first started making cards, got frustrated with my lack of coloring ability. This was, you know, back in 2017, and I still feel like I have frustration in my coloring ability. Now, doesn't mean I don't get it right some of the time, but some of the time I just don't, and it's just kind of frustrating to me. Oh, and look at that. That actually bled out a little bit too onto from out of the purple. Oh my gosh, but you know there is a fix for that. And technically there's a fix that I could have done here too. You can always take a white gel pen. Let's make sure this gel pen is actually working. Yep. And then you can just go along the edge where the white should be. And that will mask off a little bleeding. I mean, I could do it on this one too. I don't know how good it would look on here. Let's try it. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. And even up here. So I didn't necessarily have to get rid of that one after all. White gel pen, also a good tool. Now, do I want to finish this off with anything shiny? I mean, we already have our shine on our posts and on our glitter ball. I actually think this is really cute as is. And let me think about this. It's gone on this long, you know. You know, I place these down and I feel like it's just not needed. Like it's just maybe too much up there. Let's take a look if we can lift it and kind of see. Like it'll give it a little extra shine, but it feels less random. I almost wonder what it would look like if I took my gel pen and just added a little bit of snow in and around where you can actually see the blue. You know what I mean? Like that could actually be cuter. Let's get these off, move these out. Oh, so many decisions when making a card. Now, if I were better at this, oh, should I try it? I could add some highlights actually to my little guys. I'm not great at this. Let's get it on our fingers. Let's make sure it's really flowing. And it is. What if I did, all right, let's try some here. Like a little highlight on the box. Maybe over here too. Like that. I don't know. I never know what I'm doing when this, we'll do a little guy there. Just a little, you know what I mean? That's actually not bad. And then I'll do one more right over there. Just a little. I think that adds a little something something. Although I'm not exactly sure what the something something is, and I'll add a little here even though it might not show up very well because that's gray. Yeah, it doesn't really show up. And then I was thinking I could just do little snow. 5 minutes later. My See my little snows in there? It's so subtle. That finishes out the card for today. So the question, did we sell Olo markers? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I probably have far more confidence with Copic markers. I don't know if these would be good for a beginner or not good for a beginner because of the way the ink flows. You'll have to let me know in the comments your best tips on Olo markers, where maybe I could look to improve. But I hope this inspires you to remember not everybody has to be good at everything. You can find links to all of the products I used today in the YouTube description box. I'll also have a blog post with photos and a supply list over there as well, if that's easier for you to check out. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you, so please hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. To see another video where I talk about alcohol markers, check out the link I have here for you, and I will see you in that video.